He and Rob walked down the steps at 5th Avenue and 59th Street and entered the normally busy southeast corner of the park. But on such a miserable day, it was quiet, the noontime traffic above them almost distant, as if they'd entered an oasis in the middle of the tall buildings and millions of people. The grass was lush and green, the spring leaves thickening on the trees, and brush on the steep bank along the Central Park South fence, and the famous elliptical-shaped pond. There was just enough of a drizzle to cause pinpricks across the pond's gray water. "The tulips are something, aren't they?" Rob walked up the gently curving path along the edge of the pond. "My sister says they're done for in Tennessee." "Rob, Christ, I've got work to do. I can't be wasting time looking at flowers." "What's the matter? We hard-ass marshals can't appreciate tulips?" Nate made himself take in the thousands of tulips that blossomed in waves on the sloping lawn to the right of the path opposite the pond. Dark pink, light pink, white. They added a cheerful touch of color against the gloom. "All right, I've appreciated the tulips. When do tulips bloom in New Hampshire? July?" "We're a couple weeks behind New York." Probably more than a couple weeks this year, according to his uncle. Even for a tried-and-true northern New Englander like Gus Winter, it had been a long winter. More snow than normal, more days with temperatures that fell below zero, and a Valentine's Day wedding in the middle of it. The second of Nate's younger sisters, Corinne, and her childhood friend Tyler North, had finally married. They'd almost made it to the altar the previous Valentine's Day, but called the wedding off at the last moment. It had taken a murder in Boston and a dangerous showdown with a madman on infamous Cold Ridge in the White Mountains before they came to their senses and finally married. The previous October, Nate's other younger sister, Antonia, had married Hank Callahan, now the junior U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. No one had said, "Two down, one to go," but Nate had heard the words in his mind. He had no intention of getting married while he was still working on the streets. He'd been orphaned as a little boy. He liked not having anyone worrying about whether he'd come home that night. A wife, kids, a dog. He didn't even own a cat. Gus, at least, left him alone. His uncle was in his 50s now and had never married. He was just 20 when he'd ended up raising his nephew and two nieces after their parents died of exposure on the ridge that loomed over their small New Hampshire town of the same name. Nate had left Cold Ridge at 18 and never went back to live. He never would. "I caught the dogwoods when I was home in April," Rob said in his amiable southern accent. "You don't see so many dogwoods up here." "Dunnemore, are you going to keep talking about goddamn flowers all afternoon?" "Dogwoods are a flowering tree. I know, give me a break. You should come to Nashville. My sister—" Rob flinched suddenly, his body jerking back and up, his knees stiffening as he grabbed his upper left abdomen and swore. "Fuck! Nate! Shit!" Nate drew his Heckler and Koch, but told himself Rob could just be having a back spasm or a heart attack. The guy almost never swore. Something had to be wrong. Maybe a bee sting. Was he allergic? Rob staggered back a step, his suit coat falling open. Blood. It seeped between his fingers and spread across his white shirt on his upper left side. A lot of blood. "I've been shot," he said, sinking. Nate caught him around the middle with his left arm, still holding the HK in his right hand, and glanced around for cover, spotted a rock outcropping near the pond on the other side of the path. The shooter. Where the hell was he? Rob tried to keep his feet moving, but Nate more or less dragged him toward the rocks, then realized he hadn't heard any gunfire. Apparently no one else had either. People were going about their business. Two elderly women with Bergdorf Goodman bags, a middle-aged man jogging on the path, a park worker inside a fenced area near the far edge of the tulips. They were all potential targets. "Get down!" Nate yelled. "Federal officers, get down now!" The park worker dove for the ground without hesitation. The women and the jogger were confused at first, then did likewise, covering their heads with their hands and going still, not making a sound. The rocks seemed a million miles away. Nate had no idea where the shot had come from. 5th Avenue? Central Park South? The undergrowth along